to be pulling the motor and the clutch out of our 2011 Subaru WRX. Let's get into it. In today's video, the first thing that we're going to want to do is drain our oil and coolant. We're also going to want to disconnect our battery and change our hood dampeners so that the hood can open up further. All right, so now let's go ahead and take out our battery. We're also going to move our hood dampeners here to the lower two holes so that our hood can go up to 90 degrees. All right, now that we have the battery and the hood changed out, let's go ahead, jack the car up and take our skid plate off and drain the oil and also the coolant.
I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own.
Now we are going to go ahead and pull the radiator out, so we need to drain all the coolant. So first we need to go right here, unscrew this, and then we'll be able to drain our coolant. While we're down here, we're also going to unclip this sensor and the other one on the other side for the radiator fans, and then we'll go up top, take off our radiator hose, and also undo this lower radiator hose while we're down here. And then there's two 12mm bolts at the top that we'll end up taking out, and then our radiator should just slide out. Up top, the hoses that we took off were this one here, this one here, this one here, and also here is your radiator cap. You can also take this out. It just kind of pulls out from the bottom after you take this bolt out right here. Now let's go ahead, set up a time lapse, and pull the radiator out. Okay, so now that we have our oil and coolant drained, I'm gonna go ahead and take this cover off, and we need to take our intake off, then alternator, our AC, and our secondary air pump. So let's go ahead, set you up on time lapse, and get that pulled out. So now that we have our alternator out, let's go ahead and take our AC compressor out. We're going to do this bolt here, this one here, and there's another one. It's kind of hard to see, but it's way back on the bottom down there. So those are the three bolts that are going to take our AC compressor off. Let's go ahead and also spin the crank clockwise and work our belt off as well. So before we can take our AC compressor fully out, we need to take our secondary air pump out. So let's undo this connector here, this hose clamp here, and it looks like we have this bolt, that bolt, and also possibly the nut on the back side of this bracket holding this loom on. Alrighty, in order to get this power steering pump off, looks like we have to take this connector off. There is a bolt right back there, that shiny part there. Then on the bottom, there's two right here, right back here. Go ahead and take those off, and our power steering pump should come right out. We have our power steering pump hooked up and out of the way. Let's go ahead and remove our intercooler. We have two nuts here. Come to this side. We have a bracket here, this hose clamp here, this hose clamp here, and possibly this one. It might come out without that. So let's go ahead and get our intercooler out. Now we are underneath the car. There was one bolt on the downpipe that was not cooperating, that one right there. So we ended up just disconnecting the downpipe from right here. We'll still be able to wiggle it out. Next, we are going to go ahead and get all of the bell housing bolts. I'll go ahead and throw a picture up on the screen. And then after that, we have to get our engine mount bolts out. It's going to be this one here, that one there, that one there, and that one there. Underneath the car, we did our engine mounts and our bell housing bolts. On the top side, we took out our starter, and the 2 bolts for the starter are part of the bell housing bolts. Right here, we took out our clutch slave cylinder. We took off our body harness, and if anyone is curious what the bottom of this looks like, this clip slides straight out. So this is what the bottom side of this clip looks like. You pull up on this tab right here, and this will all slide off. So now let's go ahead and take our fuel lines off, and also these hoses right here to the heater core. Okay, so this is what we are trying to get off, and there's actually supposed to be a clip right here, like a piece that comes down. That's what broke off just now. So this is the fuel line extractor kit piece. So you want to line up these little marks with this, push this in there, and that will push those tabs out and allow you to pull the fuel line off. I was unsure of the orientation. I think I ended up going this way and ended up breaking it. All right, these are the grounds. So we'll just undo it from right here. And also there's one on the other side, same spot. Let's go ahead, get those off and get a jack underneath here and pull the engine. All right, now comes the fun part. We got the AC compressor off, and now let's go ahead and put this bracket back on. We disconnected the bracket from the AC compressor because right here is our lift point. So let's go ahead and get that. Our other lift point is gonna be right back here on this guy. Hold the transmission up with a jack and get the hoist on it and pull it out. Alrighty guys, so as you can see, the engine is now out of the car, and this is what our clutch looked like. We ended up breaking a few of those tabs off. The kit that we ended up going with is an Exity single disc organic street clutch. This is the OE replacement. Here is the part number. I ordered this off of MA Performance. I will leave a link to this in the description box below. Let's go ahead and take our clutch off of the engine and get our new one replaced. Alrighty, so this is everything that comes in the kit. We have our actual clutch, our pressure pad, our throwout bearing, and the clutch bearing, some of this, and an alignment tool. And also they gave us directions as well, so that will be helpful. This was our old clutch. You can see it is very thin. Actually almost got down to the rivets there. So good thing that we are replacing this now. We had some broken forks here, so let's go ahead and get this thrown back on there. While the motor's out, we are going to go ahead and replace our spark plugs. So you just gotta undo these. This will wiggle out of here. Take our coil pack out, and then in there is our spark plug.
Talk back to you. Say it like that. If I hate you, then find someone new. Baby, but you know.
So now that we have the spark plugs back in, let's go ahead and put that back in there.
I choke you down just like a pill.
Okay, so in order to get the input shaft of the transmission to link up with our clutch, we had to take this off, jack up the front of the transmission, and tilt from the front of the engine so that everything went like this. That way we had the right angle to put the engine and mount it with the transmission. And once we got that in, we just walked it in with these two top bell housing bolts. Now we are going to go ahead and put this all back together.
No, do me in the worst way. Don't let me sleep, never say you're sorry. Oh, maybe I'll leave, baby, but you know I never will. No, so I choke you down just like a pill.
Alright guys, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Thank you so much for watching us pull the engine and replace the clutch on our 2011 Subaru WRX. I hope you found this helpful or entertaining, and if you did, please leave a like and a comment down below. And don't forget to head over to my channel and hit that little subscribe button. And don't forget about the little bell in the corner so it notifies you every time I post a new video. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up for today. Thanks again. Peace.